On a warm summer Texas night, Kylie Rae Harris is doing what she loves to do most, singing her songs for a small, appreciative audience.
Tonight, we are at Love and Warren, Texas in Grapevine. This is very nostalgic for me. I feel like I'm at home tonight. I'm very excited.
Excited. It seems to be Kylie Rae's perpetual mood. At 27, she's a rising star in Texas music. She's made 3 records of her own, provided harmonies on many others, and she's constantly writing songs. But it's here, in a venue like this one, where she's most comfortable.
Especially gigs like this that are very homey, they give me the opportunity to meet wonderful people and that I would normally not meet in any other circumstance, and really connect with them, and that just means the world to me. Wait until the door.
Sometimes compared in style to Bonnie Raitt or Sheryl Crow, Kylie Rae's music is a mixture of folk, Americana, with some blues and, yes, country music thrown in.
I pay my dues, honey, you can keep the change.
And in some ways, Kylie's life has resembled a country song. Lots of life experience packed into those 27 years. With challenges, even heartbreak, but with an undercurrent of joy. Much of that joy coming from this little girl. Kylie Rae is a single mom to 3-year-old daughter Corby. Born and raised in Wiley, Kylie Rae's parents divorced when she was very young.
I was 5, so I was really confused. I didn't quite understand it, but now I'm very grateful for their divorce because I gained so many other family members because of it.
One member of her new family, stepfather Brett, who on lots of family road trips in a Chevy Suburban, introduced her to the types of singers and songwriters who would later influence her.
That Chevy Suburban, it was so embarrassing to be picked up at school in that thing that a lot of great memories were made and a lot of important musical memories too.
Kylie's mom says her daughter's singing talent was evident from an early age, even if it was somewhat surprising.
The band director said that she should play French horn because she had perfect pitch. And I'm like, there must be a mistake here. My child doesn't have perfect pitch, and evidently that's a big thing with the French horn. So that was the first I heard of it.
Through high school, Kylie played at local venues in North Texas, honing her singing and playing talent. And then a momentary stab at college.
I did go to college, but it lasted about a semester and a half. And I went to college for music at South Plains College in Levelland, Texas. And pretty much didn't go to any of my classes except for my music classes. Just chased cowboys and played music. That's all I did. What happened?
For Kylie Rae Harris, it always comes back to the music. But as she was working her way through her early 20s, becoming more and more of a factor in Texas music, she took on a job even more important.
Nope, it's empty.
She became a mother. Daughter Corby is a delightful little blonde bundle of energy. She's 3 years old. Her father is a musician named Jeremy Watkins. And while Kylie says she and Jeremy wanted to have a baby, they discovered not long after Corby's birth that they should not remain a couple.
He's turned out to be a wonderful father. He's just so wonderful. And though we've been through a lot of hard things together, we've grown to love each other, even though we're not together as a couple.
Kylie the musician became Kylie the mom, the single mom.
Even though it was scary, I absolutely knew when I found out I was pregnant that for some reason this person was supposed to be here.
So you never worried about what this would do to your career?
No, I really didn't. I'm just so thankful she's so loved by so many people. And they're so supportive of helping me while I go play. And, you know, it's hard being away, but I just know that she's having a blast and getting loved on by her family, so.
It's her experience as a mother that prompted Kylie to write what she calls her most meaningful song.
Pack the suitcase, bring a pillow.
So, a young singer-songwriter, Kylie Rae Harris, was now experiencing the joys and the challenges of being a single mother. And just as she was adjusting to that new life, just as she was hitting her stride in the world of music, ready to move to Nashville, just as it was all coming together, Kylie Rae Harris would be forced to deal with a type of heartbreak that would rock her world.
And she looked at me and she said, "Give me Corby, your sister's on the phone." And I really thought that they were about to tell me that Dad had been, I knew immediately it was about my dad. 20 years from now.
Kylie Rae's mom and dad had divorced when she was 5, but her father, Mark Harris, remained a big part of her life.
He was so funny. Oh my gosh. He was always making us laugh growing up. And he was just, you know, when my parents divorced, he moved a mile away, even though he worked an hour away. He just wanted to be near his girls.
Mark Harris worked with us here at Fox 4, a talented engineer, one of the more popular people in our building, an upbeat, positive, friendly co-worker and friend to so many. But now he was fighting for his life. About 2 years ago, diagnosed with lung cancer.
Cancer really hadn't ever affected my life or my family, and it just wasn't a word that was, I know everyone's, you know, hit with it. It seems like they know someone, but I was not prepared for it to be my dad.
9-month battle. Mm-hmm. What was it like to watch him go through that? What did you learn by watching him fight it the way he did?
I learned the meaning of life. I mean, I really did. I just, you know, I was so focused on myself and my music and what I wanted. And then, like, just being there for my dad and seeing how much that meant to him. And it meant so much to me. And just being there with him through that. I mean, our relationship was better than it ever had been in my life towards the end. And I think that gave both of us so much peace.
You know, it was interesting because they had, being a young person, I think that they had sort of a sadness in their relationship before because she was always busy and going, and he wished he could spend more time with her. And in a way, when he got so sick that she had to stop and really see what was important, it healed that relationship quite a bit. And so there were a lot of positives in that respect. And before he passed, he actually said that he was more at peace than he'd ever been.
Mark died of lung cancer in April of 2015 at age 54.
And it was just so nice at his funeral to see all the people that he worked with and say that they, you know, he just doted on us all the time.
Recently, Kylie spent some time back here at the Fox 4 studios, even visited her dad's old office, and the memories came flooding back.
He had pictures and notes from us, from our kids that we wrote him, and this is so weird.
You feel his spirit when you're performing?
I do, yeah. I feel him a lot. I feel it anytime I'm at my nephew's baseball games, I feel him there because he loved to play softball. So much. I feel him every morning. I watch Good Day on Fox, and I feel him there. I feel him everywhere. I think he's really proud.
Kylie admits it took her a full year to begin to cope in a healthy way with her dad's passing. She had briefly moved to Nashville, but realized she needed to come home, to Texas. And now she's back, close to family, living with her sister and sister's child in a new house in Wylie. She's performing often, mostly at small venues in the DFW area or San Angelo or Houston, wherever the gigs may take her. And there's studio work, where her harmonies grace the records of other singer-songwriters. She says she's in no hurry to get another record deal, but hopes to maintain a publishing deal. She's making a living with her music, but does she want more?
Do you get past the point where you're waiting to be discovered? And I put that in quotes because get past the point where you want to be playing huge arenas? Because I take it you wouldn't turn that down if your career turned in that direction somehow.
I don't think I would turn it down, but I'd give it a lot of consideration before I went and did it. And I think before I had Corby, I had a dream of just being some superstar. And it's funny what kids will do to you, I'm sure you understand, but your goals just change. And you know, even though I like going and going, I also really like being grounded and I like being at home.
Well, she's a fabulous songwriter. She's a great performer. She's always been that kind of a, you know, the person that's sort of the camp director that takes everybody on a magical journey, and she's always on a magical journey. She's the girl with kaleidoscope eyes maybe, but she's always up to something fun and different, and people like to be around her, and so her songs take people on a journey. I don't think she'll ever stop performing because people enjoy that. It's like a miniature vacation, stepping into Kylie's world.
I take change as it comes my way, like the rain on a sunny day. It ain't nothing bad, no, no. It's gonna be okay. It's just change.
My speed dial wasn't with friends. It was all the different doctors that we had. We lost her twin sisters, and then we also have the loss of 13 others.
When I announced I was pregnant again on Fox 4, my husband and I felt it was important to share our whole story, and that included the fact that we had suffered a miscarriage less than a year before. I was so surprised by the number of viewers that wrote me and shared their stories and said that they had been through something similar. In fact, the March of Dimes says 25% of all known pregnancies end in a miscarriage, and that number could be even higher, and that really surprised me. I also was surprised that a lot of people don't talk about it. I recently learned that there are some women in our area that really are trying to change that, so I invited several of them into my home, and we all sat down for an in-depth discussion, and they shared with me their highest of highs and their lowest of lows.
And some people are okay with not talking about it. Sometimes that's their way of dealing with it. For me, when I first went through it, I think I went through some denial about it, just like, okay, maybe it just didn't happen for a couple of days. You know, maybe I could just get up and make breakfast the next day and not think about it. But for me, I also wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I just couldn't function. I was kind of drowning, and I just thought, I have to reach out, because no one else is going to see that I'm drowning.
It's kind of a taboo subject, though. I mean, a lot of people don't talk about it.
I think a lot of times women are bearing that burden of how other people are going to react to that news, and one thing that I learned is I'm only responsible for my feelings, I'm not responsible for your feelings, and I need to talk about this, and I need to tell people.
Let's talk about your story, Rachel. You have the cutest little 4-year-old girl named Lucy. She is just a doll, but what you went through to get her, it's heartbreaking.
It is. We love her name. It means light, and she truly was a light in the darkness from our journey. She is our 10th try of infertility treatment. 10th. Multiple doctors, where my speed dial wasn't with friends. It was all the different doctors that we had. We lost her twin sisters, and then we also have the loss of 13 others. They are still in my heart, though they are not in my arms.
We basically started trying not long after we got married, and I was in my late 20s, never thought there would be an issue, and 5 IUIs and 3 IVFs later, 2 miscarriages, we got Lucy and Webb. So yeah, it was a long, long journey.
You were going through treatments, through drugs, through shots. I mean, I remember at one point you said, I was crazy during that time. I mean, it's an emotional roller coaster, right?
Yes.
It's a hormonal roller coaster.
The hormones are, like, you think hormones, pregnancy was a breeze for me compared to the IVF hormones. And, you know, we had 3 embryo transfers where they actually put the embryos back in me, but I had 4 retrievals, meaning that I use stimulation drugs to produce eggs that then they retrieve from me. And that's the hard part. I remember going into the bathroom at work and, you know, shooting myself with a needle of hormones, a trigger shot to release an egg. And it's what you live and breathe it, and it's really all you can think about it.
It's a costly journey, not only emotionally and physically, but financially too. I mean, I think that's something that a lot of people are shocked about.
I think that we spent upwards of $40,000, $50,000, and we were so fortunate that we were able to do that.
Yeah, I will say I have struggled with this pregnancy a little because I feel like I lost some of the joy of pregnancy. With Landry, it was easy breeze, I didn't worry about a thing. This one, I have been constantly worried. With Lucy and Webb, once you finally got pregnant with them, I mean, were you every day just scared?
I mean, I was probably 28 weeks before I relaxed and really just like let myself think, okay, these babies are gonna be here and we can put their nursery together. And it took me a long time to get there.
Coming up next on In the Moment, hear the other two women's emotional stories and also hear what all 4 women say their partners did that got them through their darkest days. 4 women, 4 different stories about their struggle with infertility and going through heartbreaking miscarriages. Dee Singleton's had 3 miscarriages. Her 4th pregnancy just recently resulted in an ectopic pregnancy.
I just moved around just a little bit, and then next thing you know, I hear her say, "Uh-oh." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Sweetheart, you have an ectopic pregnancy." And you can see the baby just chilling in my tube over there. So I was immediately rushed to surgery. I knew that an ectopic pregnancy was life-threatening. So I was just happy that I didn't ignore the signs and that I did get in there and get my surgery done, because then I probably wouldn't be here to try again. I mean, obviously I'm still going through the journey, and not only is it going to be rewarding when I finally get my baby, it's rewarding enough knowing that I can be there for someone who's been through or who's going through or who's gonna go through the same thing that I went through.
Hillary, you had 2 boys fairly easy and then decided to have a 3rd, and that's when you had the miscarriage. You had to have been surprised.
I was completely surprised. And that's one thing, like I'm a completely open person, so I'd always tell our family and everything 6 weeks along, "Oh yeah, I'm pregnant, like let's have a party," you know? And this, when it went around the 3rd time, I was like, wow, maybe this is why people are hesitant.
Within a year after the loss, Hillary was pregnant again, a healthy baby boy.
Every day I think, I wouldn't have had you know, and if we had had that first pregnancy, it would have been due in February, and we got pregnant with my little boy that we have now in January. So we wouldn't have him, we would have had a different child. And I know that sounds weird, but it gives me comfort now when I get to hold him, and he just is the most full of life, and I just think I'm thankful for him.
Anytime a couple goes through a loss, it's a strain on the marriage. It doesn't matter how close you are. There is no easy way to deal with it. At least for us, every month we weren't pregnant, there was a letdown. You know, it was, okay, oh no, okay. You know, and so it was such a roller coaster. I think there's a lot of men whose wives are going through it, or girlfriends are going through it, their partners are going through it, and they're just not sure what to do. Because, I mean, let's face it, we're a little complicated, right? So
sometimes we don't even know.
Sometimes we don't know. That is so
I don't even know what to tell you to do.
That's exactly. What would be the advice you would give to a guy who's you know, right there next to his partner trying to get through this?
Being gentle in the sense of taking the woman's lead and just saying, hey, if you want to talk about it, we can. We don't have to, or if you want, just go out to dinner and not talk about it. Yeah. There were times that my husband and I needed to go on a date and we just needed to not talk about it. Boldly asking.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing. It's just like, just ask a question, like, what do you want me to do?
Exactly. If you can't, you're not going to be able to read her mind.
Yeah.
My husband actually was really kind. He actually just said, I really just want to know that you're okay.
He's been there for me, and that's the most important thing, is to just be there. And he's always there saying everything's going to be okay, don't worry. Even in my last one, I told him, I was like, I cannot do this anymore, I give up. I just can't keep putting myself through this and my body through this. And he said, no, you're not done.
I remember like where we were sitting in our house in Austin, and he said, you know, this is all going to work out. We're going to have babies. And I remember at the time saying, how do you know? How do you know? And he knew, and he just kept telling me that it was going to work. And I am so grateful that he wouldn't let me quit.
I think another thing that, as I'm recalling to those times, my husband came up to me and said, Rachel, I love you. Not because you can make me my babies. I love you for you. I love you because you're just wonderful, not because you're gonna be the mother of my children, you know? And that felt really reassuring.
You gotta remember they lost a baby too.
Yes.
And I think because you are the one that was carrying it, I don't know, you're just so wrapped up in what just happened that I think it's hard to remember that.
I think it definitely is hard because you're going through the 5 stages of grief. But it doesn't mean the husband and wife are on the same stage of grief at the same exact time.
Oh, that's so true.
It doesn't happen often.
Why not?
I know, it's like we're both going through the anger stage together.
Right now,
yeah, and he's more in.
Why aren't you angry?
I know, why aren't you angry?
It's like I was angry last week, okay? And this journey is where I found me. I found the best me, and I'm the best me that I've ever been, only because of what I've been through. I've trusted that journey, and I've taken it with me, and I'm going to continue to take it with me to continue to help me to grow and to help me to be a better person, a better wife, and even a better mom.
She's got her first CD is just out. We're delighted to welcome Kylie Rae Harris.